Hi everyone, thank you for switching to my channel. Welcome to Writer's Corner. I'm Radrani and today I'd like to share another one of my short stories with you all. And today's story is called A Good Samaritan. Again, it was one of the weekly topics for my writers group and I hope you'll like it. So here we go. A Good Samaritan. The town hall clock struck 5. It was dark and a cold autumn wind blew. Leela shivered as she hurried to her car. The office car park was already half empty. Another few minutes and it would be completely barren. The other side of town was well lit and still bustling with people going home and late night shoppers. Soon it would be seized by keen clubbers and partygoers. It had been another long day, but she enjoyed her job, and the recent promotion and pay rise made it all the more worthwhile. Her feet began to ache. She had forgotten to change her shoes. Yawning, Leela turned on the radio lest she fell asleep at the wheel. An investigation is underway into the murder of 3 women and a serious assault on another in the Thornton Heath area of Acrefield. The women have been found dead in their homes late yesterday evening, told the reporter. The victims have been identified as 50-year-old Margaret Barton and her daughter Janet Barton, 28, of Sledgley Lane, and a Susan Chadwick, 69, also from Sledgley Lane. The latest victim, Donna Robson, 19, was found unconscious with life-threatening injuries in her flat on Cleveland Road this afternoon. She was taken to hospital where her condition is said to be very critical. Leela listened intently. It is believed that all 4 incidents might be connected and carried out by the same perpetrator within hours of one another. Police have been questioning friends and family members of these victims. If anyone has any information. Leela changed the radio station. The news made her shudder. Blimey, she thought. Smooth radio soon put her mind at ease. The traffic was moving slowly, and as she left the town, she arrived onto a stretch of dual carriageway. Her feet were in agony now. She had to change her shoes. She stopped on the hard shoulder and reached for her comfort footwear, which was conveniently placed at the front passenger side. Just as she was about to drive off, a car came speeding onto the hard shoulder behind her and crashed into the metal railing at the side. She gasped. She stopped her car and breathed deeply, trying to calm her nerves. Switching the light on, she looked through the rear-view mirror. A young man was in the driver's seat. He seemed to be alone. Instinctively, she grabbed her phone and got out to check. She stopped. Shall I go and see? She thought. Looking around, she saw farms on both sides of the dual carriageway. It was well lit and there were plenty of cars travelling in both directions, although not a single driver noticed or bothered to stop. She turned to the red Vauxhall Corsa and looked at the young man again. She couldn't just leave him there. With her phone in one hand and car keys in the other, she walked gingerly towards his window. Hello, are you all right? He was groaning in pain and was bleeding heavily. She dialed 999 and asked for an ambulance. As she began speaking, she opened his car door and turned the engine off. Yes, he's conscious. His breathing seems okay, she told the call handler. I'll ask him. She turned to the man. What's your name and age? He did not answer. Please, tell me your name and age. Matthew, Butler, 19. He muttered with some reluctance. He's called Matthew Butler and he's 19. I think he's in a lot of pain. His left ankle's twisted, probably broken, I'm not sure, she explained. And he's bleeding, really badly. From the left side of his body? Yes, abdomen, that's right. Still on the phone, she took a closer look at his injuries. Well, it looks like. She quickly moved away from the man so that he would not hear her. It looks like a stab wound. She paused, listening to further instructions. Okay, yeah, she said, searching around in his car. Yes, I found one. Yes, it's clean. Oh no, she paused. Yes, I'm still here. Yes, I'm okay, she said, and firmly placed the clean towel onto Matthew's wound to control the bleeding. Just put your hand here. I'll be back in a second, she whispered to him. Stepping away from him again, she told the call handler, I've just found a bottle of pills. Diazepam. Sleeping pills, aren't they? I don't know if he's taken them. Sorry, I can only assume. She gave him a quick glance. Yes, he's still awake. Okay, will do. Yes, it won't be long, will it? Okay, yes, I understand. Thank you. Leela nervously made her way to the front passenger seat of his car, leaving the door slightly open. What had she got herself involved with? She saw his face clearly now, big green eyes, short brown hair, clean shaven with the freshness of youth. Moving his hand, she placed hers on the towel, pressing it firmly on the wound. He winced. Sorry. Hi, Matthew. My name's Leela. You're going to be okay. The ambulance is on its way. They said there are delays due to roadworks, but they should get here soon. Leela looked at him curiously. Something was not right. What happened, Matthew? If you don't mind me asking. What do you do? He asked blankly, ignoring her question. I'm an architect. Oh, okay, he nodded. But I also work for the Samaritans. Have you heard of them? Yes, he paused. He looked at her inquisitively. So you listen to people, their problems, and help them? Yes, well, we try to, she smiled gently. Oh, I almost forgot. She took her phone and sent a quick text. He looked at her suspiciously. I just need to let my husband and boys know that I'll be home late. Don't want to worry them. Boys? He asked. Yes, I have two, 9 and 6. That's nice. His tone softened. They're lucky. How about yourself? What do you do? I'm studying pharmacy at the uni here. She glanced at the books in the back seat. Oh, very clever. No one's ever called me that before, he said. What about your parents? He hesitated for a moment. My mother died, he said, staring into space. 9 years ago. I was just 10. Leela saw the sadness in his eyes. I'm so sorry. What happened? If you want to talk about it. They were in the car. Dad was driving and was drunk. He lost control. Mum died. He didn't. Leela sensed the resentment in his words. Despite his brave front, she saw in him a lonely young boy who missed his mother. The wounds inside unhealed and raw. He closed his eyes and rested his head back, taking in deep breaths. Okay, won't be long now. Stay with me, she said, secretly panicking. Keep talking. What happened to your dad? He opened his eyes slowly and gazed at the roof. He got married within a year. Same woman he was having an affair with. I used to hear Mum and Dad arguing about it. He paused and took a few more deep breaths. He died of a heart attack. I was 11. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't be. I'm not. You know, she didn't even phone for an ambulance. Just left him to die. Who? Asked Leela. Your stepmother? He nodded. Did you live with her? I didn't live. I survived. She checked his wound. The bleeding had worsened. He was clammy and becoming drowsy. She checked her watch and her eyes darted across the dual carriageway. He took her hand. In a quiet and weary voice, he mumbled, You're a good person, a good Samaritan. If only I had people like you in my life, I would have been a better person. Leela looked at him with a heavy heart. What happened to you? She thought. Just then the sirens were heard bellowing down the dual carriageway. An ambulance was fast approaching them. Matthew pointed to the glove box, urging her to open it. She pulled out an envelope and handed it to him. Squeezing her hand, he whispered, "Thank you." "Right, we'll take it from here, madam," said the paramedic. "I'll follow you in my car," replied Leela. As Leela sat anxiously in the waiting room, she saw two police officers talking to the paramedic and a nurse. She noticed that the envelope was now with one of the officers. She caught the attention of the paramedic, who walked towards her. "Are you the lady who was with the young man, Matthew Butler?" "Yes. What happened to him? Will he be all right?" I'm sorry, madam. We couldn't save him. He died just minutes after arriving into hospital." Leela's heart sank. What a shame. Can anyone let his family know, please? He told me his parents died, but there must be someone. "Oh dear," said the paramedic. "I'm afraid there's been some disturbing news. Mr. Butler's made, well, shocking confessions. The officers would like to speak to you before you go. I'm not allowed to say any more. I'm sorry. Now, if you'll excuse me." "Yes, of course. Thank you. Police," she thought. "What on earth do they want with me? I need to go home." "Hello, madam. I'm PC Jack Butterworth." "Hello," she said. "I believe you helped Mr. Butler. You were with him until the ambulance came?" "Yes, I was." "Well, did he say anything to you about himself?" He talked about his mum. He said she died, and personally, I don't think he's ever got over it. Oh, and he said his dad died as well. He didn't seem to want to talk about his family," she informed. "Yes, he did lose his parents when he was a child, but all I can say is, well, you've had a lucky escape." "Sorry, what do you mean?" Leela was puzzled. "I can't go into details, Mrs. Rye. Yes, Mrs. Rye. Thing is, he was a very disturbed young man. He confessed in his letter to killing his stepmother, stepsister, his old school teacher, who happened to be his step-aunt, and attacking his girlfriend. She was cheating on him." "What?" she exclaimed. His words left her startled. "He's not a psychotic serial killer. He's just a boy, only 19, protested Leela. "Revenge, Mrs. Rye. Revenge was his motive. It seems he was a victim of abuse and neglect. I suppose he was remorseful, but as I said, a disturbed young man." "How did he get the stab wound? And what about the pills?" "He had a scuffle with his girlfriend. I believe she's in a critical state. And he took the pills, but I really can't go into any more details." Her instincts were right. She knew something was not right in his life. "Haven't you been watching the news? It's been everywhere." "About the 5 murdered women?" said the officer. Leela thought, then suddenly remembered the news on the radio. "What happens now, officer?" "Well, we've found our killer. I think it's safe to say we can close the case. Thanks to you, mind. You're a hero, Mrs. Rye." "Right. Can I go now?" Yes, and be careful who you stop for now, won't you?" Leela left the hospital feeling perturbed. It was strange how a child could turn into a monster. But was he a monster, or just crying out for help? When she reached home, she was warmly greeted by her boys. "Mummy!" shouted the younger one. "Hi, Mum!" called the elder one. Leela took them both in her arms and tightly embraced them. The end. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I hope you liked it. Please click like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again.